Two, two, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yen 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 1, 2, 2. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2. Ojano. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 2, 2.
I got one last time. Committee
2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
why it's one public hearing.
2, 2, 2.
Can you do that? Can you do it, my brother? This council got bling bling. What is this thing? Can you start?
2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2.
I know, I have to say.
2, 2.
But the state law advisor, who says now the bill now can go to the National Assembly because it passed the constitutional muster. The bill can go to National Assembly precisely because this bill, it really meets the socio-economic analysis. So those are the issues. And when the bills goes to the National Assembly as a protocol and requirements, They are supposed to advertise the public hearing, and they'll conduct the public hearing across the country on the identified areas. From there, when they are done with it, the bill will go to the NCOP. And right now, the bill is within the NCOP, and that's why ourselves as the province were also engaged with the bill. I must say that the NCOP Portfolio Committee are expected to be able to conduct the public hearing. And ourselves too, as the Provincial Legislature, the Portfolio Committee on Education, we are also conducting the public hearing across Gauteng provinces on identified and advertised areas. So therefore, one of the key issues with respect to the bill, the contribution by the participant, every participant that does not talk to the bill itself, because you are also given the bill, you have to talk to sections of the bill. You can't just say, I support, then you don't talk to the section of the bill. That will not be, we'll have to stop you, because you will not be making a meaningful contribution consistent with the guideline. I must repeat, let's talk to the section of the bill. If you want certain section to be replaced or you want to amend, raise that specific section. Any generic contribution that does not talk to the bill that has been given to you, we will have to stop you at that, because you'll be wasting the time for those that want to contribute consistently with what is required. There's no you to speak to something that won't be recorded by the team there. The team that we have, they are available to record any amendment that you want to make. If you want to support certain section, you must raise, even if all section, you must do so. But if you don't agree with specific section, it can't just be generic. As you know that Parliament want to look at substantive matters that are relative to the section of the bill. Anything that is outside of the bill will be required to stop you, to get some people that will talk to the bill. And what we will do, therefore, will allow the chief director from the National Department, Basic Education, it's a Department of Basic Education, to present the content of the bill. That's how the program is going to be going forward. But before I do that, we must deal with the matters relating to apologies. Can please, Tabo? No. We have to adopt the agenda. Then you can raise your hand, please. Sorry? Remember, also as stakeholders, it's your responsibility, if you want to make contribution to the bill, to download that bill from the website. When you come to the meeting, you know what section you're going to contribute about. Now, I'm not taking any contribution because it's not yet the time. We need to get to the apologies, deal with the agenda, get the honorable members here, adopt that agenda. Then only when we're done that, we will guide you how we're going to move forward. And we will want every speaker, please, team, make sure that all those that are outside, they come in so that they make a contribution. Because we don't want to leave anyone behind. So, Tabo, is there any apology? No, speak on record, please.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning to our guest. No apologies, Chair. Thank you.
No, I'm advised that we need to allow the chairs to be brought in because they will be disruptive to the process. I can only give it for the 5 minutes, not more than that. Thank you. One, two.
Test one, two. Test one, two. Test one, two, one. Test one, mic test, 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, 1.
You are now left with 3 minutes to conclude that process, please.
Test 1, 2, 1. Test 1, 2. Test 1, mic test 1, 2, 1. Test 1.
We must apologize that we have started late because without the quorum, it will be practically impossible to meet our constitutional obligation in terms of the portfolio committee. May we please have those chairs process concluded, please. Yes, we're on record to apologize that we have started late. Now, we were on the apologies, and there's no one. I think, please, while you do that, do it silently without disrupting the process at the back. We have dealt with the issues relating to apology. We did not receive any formal apologies. Therefore, we'll have to proceed. Before we proceed, I must say that we have the translation. With respect to English, it will be on channel 1, Sisuthu or Setswana channel 5, isiZulu and Sixhosa channel 4, Afrikaans channel 3, Chivenda, Xitsonga, channel 2. Sign language will be in front of us on the TV screen. So the majority of the community of languages within the area will be covered in that regard. So therefore, please, the communication team make sure those that need translation, because all our community members will be allowed to speak in their own language. I think it's better if you can express yourself in your own language. And I must indicate that in the advert of the public hearing, there are those that written letters to the NCOP to express that they are going to do oral presentation, and there are those that have submitted their own written submission. Today, we will accept your contribution, even if you have a written submission. The table will be ready to take your submission. May we please allow the honorable members to please confirm the agenda of the meeting. Honorable Dos Santos.
Morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone. I move to adopt.
Honorable Member Musito.
Thank you, Chairperson. I, Honorable Musito, accept and adopt the
Your
agenda.
second, yeah. The program, therefore, is duly adopted. It have to deal, I'll read it out for the record so that all of you are aware what we're dealing with. The first thing was just to welcome you, which I did. The second item was apologies. Then we're going to receive the presentation on the BELA Bill, Section 78, from the National Department of Basic Education by our dear Chief Directors. And from there, we'll allow an input by the members. And I must say that there's no item of responding to question, because our task as the portfolio committee members, these issues have to be consolidated and get considered by the portfolio committee, select committee of the NCOP in Parliament, which means our task, even their task, is not to respond to a clarity. You have to make contribution to the bill. So if you ask a question, we're not going to respond to that question, because the principal purpose is for you to make a submission, oral or written submission, with specific to section of the bill. If you are talking to something that is not in the bill, we will have to stop you, because you'll be denying a very good opportune moment for those that are prepared to make a contribution with certain section of the bill. And from there, we will have a vote of thanks, and we will ask Honorable Dos Santos to do that at the end of the session. And then I will, as the chairperson of the portfolio committee, I will close the meeting or adjourn the meeting at that point in time. We have been advised that if we can have good 2 hours, and I must say that we have agreed, even we must be consistent with what we have started in Soweto, Uncle Tom's Hall, that we will give each and every speaker 3 minutes. And any other things that the member want to contribute, the community member or stakeholder want to contribute to, they can write and submit. It will be consolidated as part of the submission to the select committee, on the portfolio committee, on education in the NCOP for consideration. And as I said, please don't ask questions, because you're not going to receive response. And you will not take it as a sign of disrespect. Talk to the bills, section of the bill. Failure to do that will be forced to stop you, to allow those that stop to the bill. Now, I'm going to allow please listen very carefully. Anything that is not in the bill, if we talk to it, we will have to stop you, because you'll be speaking of something else that is not relative or concern or related to the bill. And I'm sure I would like the Chief Director, therefore, when you present, to clarify that point. Because some people will want to mix issues that have nothing to do with the bill. Please focus on the sections of the bill and your substantive contribution or amendment that you want to make. And it will be fair. And after the presentation, I must say, I'm going to note the hands, all the hands. We're not going to have second round, or those that will be influenced by those that would have, how somebody would have contributed. We're going to allow all of you that have raised hands to speak. We're not going to leave without having that done. But if you are noted, and if you are not noted, you try to take a chance because you came late, you want to speak. We're not going to allow you, and will embarrass you in that regard. This is the opportunity, community members and honorable members, esteemed honorable members, and our supporting team, which is the backbone of the Portfolio Committee. I already dealt with the issues of the channel, so they will receive your contribution that's written, and they will record, not only through this TV, recording the system there, but also to have everything consolidated for the Select Committee on Basic Education in the NCOP. Now it is my greatest pleasure to allow our Chief Director to please present. I must acknowledge those that are coming from the Provincial Department on Education and Youth Development Department, and those that are the staff within the department and the Portfolio Committee. You are all warmly welcome. We want to receive your contribution with respect to legislative formulation in the NCOP. It is your power, use it wisely. Our Chief Director, the platform is yours. Thank you. You will introduce yourself for the record. And maybe before I do that, I miss a very big step to introduce other honorable members. Starting with the Bishop there.
Morning, everybody. My name is Bishop Dalton Adams. I'm a member of the Education Portfolio Committee. Thank you very much.
Honorable member.
Good morning all. My name is Honorable Ntabise Musito. I am a member of this committee, and fortunately I'm from West Rand. Thank you.
Honorable Dos Santos.
Thank you, Chair. Morning, everyone. My name is Sergio Dos Santos, and I'm a member of this committee. Thank you.
As I said earlier, my name is Chidi Zimnyai, the chairperson on Education Portfolio Committee here in Gauteng. Thank you very much. Let's allow our Chief Director, please, to do that. The team at the back, they belong to our, the support of our Portfolio Committee with all technical consolidation of the contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, honorable members. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is James Ndlebe. I'm a Chief Director for Planning, Monitoring and Support at the Department of Basic Education. This is the bill that we're presenting to Parliament. It has passed all the stages that the chairperson has referred to. It is now in the hands of the NCOP. So we're requesting you to guide the NCOP on what you need amended and change in what we're presenting. Honorable Chairperson, let me start by emphasizing what you said, that can we focus on the bill? By so doing, I want to indicate that the bill is not a wholesale type of changes in the country. The bill is focusing on the administrative and management processes, especially of schools. So it will not include all the laws that are there in education because they are there. So we're not duplicating them. We just focus on certain changes there. You have been given a copy.
Be good with 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
You have a bill with you, which I really want you to go through that bill with me as quick as possible. You'll realize there won't be curriculum issues in the bill. There won't be aspect of teaching and learning. There won't be LO in there. There won't be subject teaching in there. There won't be pass mark, because those are covered in caps, so they can't be repeated here. So I need to warn you in advance that if you start talking sexuality education and things like those, you are now in the curriculum space, and curriculum is not covered in the bill. It is an LO, it's a subject issue, which is covered in those curriculum issues, especially caps. You're not going to find issues of early childhood development in there. We're starting from grade R to 12. Anything below grade R will not be covered in the bill. It's covered in other issues of the department. You're not going to find infrastructure there. The buildings, the classrooms, the mobile classrooms, the pit toilet, and anything around sanitation, because there's a law somewhere which is called norms and standard of infrastructure. So it wouldn't be repeated here, so you can't comment on that when it's not there. There's nothing on religion in this bill. Therefore, if you say our religious rights are being trampled upon, you're not speaking to the bill. The only thing that you'll find around religion is when we talk about the code of conduct, where we refer and say the code of conduct must take cognizance of the religious and the cultural beliefs of the communities that live in South Africa. So there's nothing about trampling on the toes of religion in there. There's no extra curriculum activity, because that is also a curriculum issue. So whatever problems you have with government are not in the bill, because the bill is just talking to how schools are supposed to be managed. So don't bring NSFAS issues, don't bring load shedding issues, because those are not in the bill per se. Let's get into the clause. And I invite you to go quickly with me. If you go to clause number 1, you're going to get definitions. Definitions of what education is, what corporal punishment is, definition of special education needs. You're going to get definition of a competent assessor. I'm inviting you to go to chapter 2 or clause number 2, which is a section that talks to grade R. Our schools are currently starting from 1 to 12. The bill is requesting that you give us permission to start from grade R. That children of age 5 needs to get into formal education. If you read the bill, it doesn't say all those facilities that you have in communities that are running grade R need to stop to exist. It's not saying that. It's just saying the formal class must start at R. Wherever you are, a child cannot start in grade 1, must start at R, and that's what it says. It also talks to penalties of parents that do not take children to school when they are supposed to. There might be a confusion there that needs clarification very seriously. Grade R is age 5. Grade 1 is age 6. But these are not compulsory school-going age. But even though grade R starts at the age 5, is not a compulsory school-going age, which means a parent can keep the child at home if the parent feels the child is not matured enough to again go to school and start that grade. The compulsory school-going age starts at 7. It is only after the age of 7 where people can start making noise about children that are not at school. And the penalties that are there are imposed for those parents who will refuse to take children to school from the age of 7 to 15. It's not referring to parents that are homeschooling their children. We need to make that very clear. It's not referring to parents who will have problems that they cannot be able to take their children to school because it's either poverty, transport, or any other sort of things, which the department must resolve. Only those who will say, over my dead body will I take my child to school. That's when the penalties kick in. But for the rest of the parents, please relax. The clause number 2 is not referring to you. Clause number 3 is just about learner attendance, how it is managed at school. Clause number 4 and 5, I want to deal with this combined. Clause number 4 and 5 deal with language policies of a school. It deals with admission policies of a school. If you were to refer to the old SASA, the old SASA gives the authority to determine language and admission policy to SGBs, unlimited authority and unlimited power. But the BELA Bill is then saying it is not correct to have people having unlimited powers without checks and balances, without the department.
I'm sorry to disturb you. Please, every stakeholder, download the bill from the website. And if you don't have, this is the summarized version. The actual bill is this one. So this preparation of coming to the meeting, you must have, where's my file? I think I have it. Just give the copy of the bill. Just give me that bill. This is the bill. So when you are coming to the meeting, as per advertisement, you should come with your own document for the ease of reference, because we don't want to be accused for not having distributed the bill, because the contributor have an obligation to get this bill in advance. Yes. Please, so I'm sorry, I'm not going to disrupt you again, because the flow will be messed up. Thank you very much.
Can I just say simply save as? Yeah, go to save as. They want to have the presentation on the screen.
Okay, no problem.
But that won't stop me from continuing.
Okay.
I was saying clause 4 and 5, it's about language policy, it's about admission policy. The amendment that is there is an amendment that says the HOD must have a say on the policies that are developed by the SGB. Why is it that? It's because experience has taught us that when SGBs develop these language policies and admission policies that are unchecked, chances are that there are things that may be unconstitutional, that are not following other pieces of legislation, that may end up jeopardizing what the Constitution stipulates. I want to emphasize the issue of the Constitution. We have 11 languages in the country. And we all accept the 11 languages. But when the 11 languages need to be implemented, then there's a problem, where the entire country focuses on 2 languages in particular, which is English and Afrikaans. We're now bringing up children that can't speak their mother tongue. And research is indicating that it is important for children to be taught in their mother tongue. They simply can learn much better when they're taught in mother tongues. But as they grow up, as they get into schools, they then get confronted with schools that do not offer these home languages. And therefore, they are forced to learn in English and Afrikaans, especially in urban areas, especially in those urban institutions, which then disadvantages them. It can't be right that children of parents that have moved into suburbs, live in the suburbs, are unable to access schools in the suburb because the language policies of those schools are stuck into 2 languages. If we say we accept 11 languages, it also means open up schools so that the languages of any child can be taught in those institutions, depending on the availability of resources and the number of these children that are supposed to be there. That goes with the admission policies again. that we still have admission policies developed by SGBs that are not in line with the Constitution. That will be so selective in nature that a lot of children are not admitted in those schools because the language policy and the admission policy have prevented them from being admitted. Then they have to be on a waiting list forever. Even though they live next to the school, they have to be transported to other schools. So the basic that is there is that, please read with me that bill, that section of the bill in 3 and 4. You're going to, 4 and 5, you're going to notice steps that the HOD must follow if the HOD wants to intervene. If there are a group of children whose languages are not catered in a school around where they live, steps says HOD, go and knock at that school, talk to the SGB, work with the community, find better solutions in there. That's what is added in SASA, and those are the differences that are in there. There are schools that are developing beautiful language policies, admitting children according to different languages. It can't be that in Limpopo, right in Polokwane, there's no school that teaches Spedi in town when 80% of the children are Spedi speakers. It becomes a challenge. And people will say, SGBs are in control. Yes, but SGB must take mandates from the communities. It can't be the few people that sit in the governing body that then determines every policy without them having engaged with the, engaged with the communities. That is where the HOD comes in. I want to move on. I said I'll bring those two together. The others, like 6, if you're reading number 6, it will tell you about the minister having specialists appointed in order to deal with curriculum issues, which are not here. If you go to 7, it will tell you that the code of conduct that SGBs develop must try and cater for religious and cultural differences of communities. It can't be right that children are suspended because their hair looks different, and then they don't go to school because of such things. It is saying, work with the school, work with the children, work with the parents, work with the communities, and determine a code of conduct that speaks to the general well-being of that community where the school is based, so that you understand the different needs. You can't be suspending Muslim children that have beards when they're in grade 12. Because that is their culture. Respect those cultural differences when you put in there. Respect those Shembe children that are not going to comb their hair if they are in your school, because that is their religious belief. So that is what 7 is talking about. If you go to 8, it talks about searches and seizure, the normal stuff. No alcohol, no drugs in school, children must be searched, and law enforcement must be brought into the picture should there be a need. If you go to 9, it talks about serious misconduct of learners. Things that can lead to expulsion are now listed in there, so that when SGBs deal with disciplinary hearings of children that will lead to expulsion, the law is very clear on what they need to do, and there's no confusion of children stabbing other children and teachers, and they're just left there. Number 10, we can't debate it, corporal punishment abolished by the Constitution. No matter how strong you feel that you want corporal punishment to be retained, in the BELA Bill, we're just strengthening that, please teachers, don't go that route. And we're defining it even more thoroughly than we do. Number 11 talks about initiation. I hope you're moving with me, those who have the bill. It talks about initiation, where especially grade 8 children are mistreated in schools, where they are exposed to a lot of humiliating activities when they arrive in January because they are new, they are freshers. So we're saying we don't do that, treat them as human beings, don't humiliate them. That is number 11. Let's move to 12. It talks about schools with special focus. It says, if you are running a school as an SGB in the community, you want to change the nature of the school, the curriculum is no longer working for you, you are allowed to change the curriculum and the nature of the school. You just inform the department. Whether you want to bring in arts, Whether you want to bring in aviation, you want to bring motoring, you are allowed to do that. And that is what that section 12 is saying, that you have the permission. 13 is about merger and closure of schools. It's not a new section. Schools are merged and closed. But unfortunately, that clause, if you go through it, you're going to get a long list of MEC. You must do 1, 2, 3 before you close or merge a school. This is a message to provincial departments that don't just close schools willy-nilly. Don't just merge them willy-nilly. Follow this procedure, including public participation before you close the school. And that is what that section is talking about. Number 14, it's talking about central procurement. There are provinces that have been procuring goods for schools, even purchasing low-quality material. This case ended up at the High Court in the Eastern Cape, and the department was told to stop that process of purchasing things on behalf of schools. What we're putting in the bill is that this must be done in consultation with the SGB, which means provinces, it's a message to provinces. Don't purchase things unless the SGB is involved. That is the clause. We're told it's not strong enough. It should have a word like, don't purchase unless, without the agreement of the SGB, which you don't have a problem with, because we're looking at economics of scales. When schools group themselves together, when the department assists and they go and purchase things, they tend to be cheaper. And that's why we're saying it needs to be done. It shouldn't take away the function of Section 21 schools because they are given money in their account. They should have a decision to purchase whatever they want, wherever they want. So that clause is to say provinces must never do it unless they do it with the SGB. 15, it's about the SGB functions. We're talking about dead SGB. Officials, governors that are in the SGB that are not performing, we're saying we can't keep them as SGB forever. The department must do something about it. 17 is about SGB elections, which is nothing new. I'm rushing the 20 minutes that I was given. Number 21 talks about payment to SGBs. It's emphasizing the fact that SGBs can't be paid for the work that they do. It's a voluntary job. We don't want SGBs to be attracted by money to do the job and then push those who want to do it well because they're after money. And we don't want SGBs to start killing one another because there's money in the SGB. So payment, 0. But in the absence of payment, what then happens? In the absence of payments, we then reimburse SGBs. Whatever you spend as a person in doing the work of SGBs, you need to be reimbursed for that money you've spent. You take a taxi to school to do SGB work, that taxi money must come. You drive doing SGB work, that money of your petrol must be returned. It's called reimbursement. We also putting it that SGBs can also co-opt members if they want to co-opt members, even though members are not in there. So I'm no longer presenting, it's with you. Because it's not moving with me. But it's fine, I will survive, it's not. So whatever they're reading there is not the same as mine. I want to move as quick as possible to the sections that are problematic. There's section 31 that I want to focus on.
Let's move with them.
Okay.
So that they must see to what you are speaking to. Just have to move.
Okay. This one goes with this one, but they have theirs that side.
Yeah, but it says what?
31?
Sorry?
31?
31. Okay. 31 is there.
Yeah. Okay. This one talks to financial records of a school, that when you vote for the budget, you determine school fees, which is the right of the SGB and the parents in there. Please make sure that you are transparent. You're telling parents exactly what the school fees money is going to be used for. Either you're paying teachers extra, either you're buying them cell phones, you're buying them airtime, you're taking them on holidays, you're buying them uniform, all the things that you're going to use the money for. Please be transparent and inform the parents during the election. By the way, these things are not illegal as long as they are approved by the body of parents, because they do help with the standard of education in a school. Okay, can we move on? I need to move 34. Can we go to 34? Because that's about independent schools. I want to park on 35, which is home education. If we are a democratic country that obeys the Constitution, 35 is about that. 35 says 2 schools in the country, independent, public school, 2. Independent schools will include homeschooling. What does the Constitution say? It says anybody, I'm talking about Section 39 of the Constitution, anybody has the right to start an independent school at his own cost. That's the Constitution, I'm quoting it as it is, at his own cost. It then goes on and say, if you start your own independent school, like homeschooling, you must register. That's what the Constitution says, it's not me. It goes on and say, you must use a curriculum that is not inferior to the curriculum that is offered in public institution. It says that. The Constitution then supports homeschooling, because children are not the same. Children work at different paces. Children are not comfortable the same in a school. Children that are homeschooled do not follow grades. The Constitution allows that. It also believes that you want to instill your cultural values. Whether you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, whether you are a Rastafarian, you want to instill these things. So it means if you want to choose an Arabic curriculum, so be it. If you want to choose a Japanese curriculum, so be it. That Constitution never say, and even in the bill, I want you to read it as I speak to you, there's nowhere where the word caps appear. So it will be disingenuous to stand here and say, this bill forces us to follow curriculum caps when there's no caps inside that thing. Choose your own curriculum, follow that own curriculum. If it is a recognized curriculum, the department will know and will allow you to follow your curriculum. The only rider that is there, it says at the end of a phase, grade R1, 2, 3, it's the end of a phase. Can the child be assessed by a competent assessor? Chapter 1 defines what a competent assessor is. Any qualified teacher, it's a competent assessor. Anybody who has a certificate in being assessor is competent, because there's no way we'll understand the Japanese curriculum. But a Japanese qualified person who is legally qualified to assess will tell the department that the child is going through education and is benefiting, and that is enough for us. So I need to repeat, before you make that mistake of saying they're forcing us, they are taking away the powers. Homeschooling is allowed by the Constitution. Nobody can take that power away. But the Constitution, don't disobey it. It says you must register, so please do that. I need to emphasize again when you talk about this issue. An act doesn't go to town like regulations and guidelines. It will just give small statements and all that. Don't take the act as if this is done and therefore start accusing whatever the bill intends to do. We're trying to comply with the Constitution in here. Can we move from 5? So religious beliefs, cultural beliefs, your own curriculum, teach it. But register, get an assessor at the end and come back to us and it will be fine. Number 36. It's about false documents. You want a school, your child to be admitted in Randfontein, but you live somewhere in Procedural, you then come and get documents of people in Randfontein for your child to get in. We're saying it's illegal, don't do it. It has penalties around it. Let's move on. 37 is not much to talk about. Let's move to the next clause. 38. Nothing that's normal government things. Number 39. I wish we can go to 39, those who have this bill. I wish you can go to 39. When you read section 39, you're going to find a sentence. A sentence. A sentence that says the minister must regulate on learner pregnancy. It's a sentence. So I don't know where sexuality education comes in, because it's not, I said it's not a curriculum. I don't know where abortion comes in, because it's a sentence. Say regulate on learner pregnancy. I don't know where the teaching of masturbation come in, because it just says regulate on learner pregnancy. I don't know where this issue of saying teachers are going to be forced to send children for termination of pregnancies come in. I don't know. I don't know where this thing of saying children are going to be led to abortion, because this is the Department of Education. It doesn't deal with abortions. That's the Department of Health that deals with that. All we're saying is that the Constitution says pregnant girls must be at school. That's an instruction. When they are at school, what do we do as Department of Education? We don't know. We need to come up with clear regulations on what must happen in a school. Teachers, how do you treat pregnant girls? We need to regulate on that. How do girls continue to be at school? When do they leave? When they write tests, what happens? When they interact with the school, what happens? Those are the regulations. They are not there. The bill says the minister must regulate. Maybe it's a time for us to educate. How are regulations done? It's not an individual that sits and writes. The minister must get specialists from health. She must get specialists from SGBs, from the unions. She must get psychologists. She must get traditional leaders, and then write what must happen to pregnant girls with communities. And it must follow this system of people saying we approve or we don't approve. Now, to come here and say the minister will write, the minister doesn't write any regulation, doesn't write any laws. Laws are passed by Parliament following this system. So it's again, Chairperson, to warn the people, don't bring things that are not in the bill into the bill when the bill is not saying that. Chairperson, may I stop there? I think my 20 minutes is over. Thanks.
May we give a round of applause for our presenter, our Chief Director. Now that we have received the presentation, and in addition, I'm sure you have your own bill, which I think you'll talk to as we proceed. Now, I must thank you very much, Chief Director, for clarifying, as I said in my opening remarks, that things that are not in the, if you are talking to things that are not in the bill, I'll have to stop you and allow those that have read the bill, that want to make a meaningful contribution on this legislative process or law formulation. So it is important that there are those that would have barrage of propaganda to mislead society on the content that's not included in the bill. And ourselves as the Portfolio Committee, I must make this disclaimer. We are not here for or against the bill. Ours is to facilitate the process, fair process relative to the bill, because we don't have mandate to facilitate something that's outside the bill. You know, law-making process is very easy. You refer to certain section of the bill, and you express your view with that. Whether you want it removed or added or you agree with it, you move forward. That's how simplified the process of law making with respect to the to the BELA Bill. Now, I'm going to note the hands of those that want to make contribution. Please, I'll start with my left hand side row, then I'll end up with this row. But for the ease of the process, I'll note all the speakers that want to speak. I will note all of them at a go. And we're not going to have a second round. So I'm appealing to all of you that want to speak to please raise your hand. I'll give you the number. When I give you the number, please join the row. No. Please, I'm just noting first. Please come to the central row, please. Yes, sir. Come to the central row. Number 2, join on the row, please. And each and every one of us will speak for 3 minutes. My good sir on the check shirt, join the row. My good ma'am on the wonderful blue shirt, join the row. My good sir on the striped shirt, white and background of dark blue. My good sir with white and red t-shirt in front of you, join the row. My good ma'am, you'll follow the member. Please, my good sir there on a white cap, join, come. And on black dress, please join them. And my good sir there, I don't see the color of your shirt, but please join, please. Then followed by you, my good sir. I'm done on this row. Now, I want other supporting team from your team, please, to be at the back, because I don't want the people that we didn't note to be. I need extra staff to support you at the back, because to monitor the queue, so that those that I didn't allow to speak, they won't do that. Now, you join at the back, madam. Yes. You too. My good sir on the black shirt. My good ma'am on a wonderful red top. My good sir on the black, please join. Only those that I noted. If I didn't note you, I would embarrass you, because I've been looking very carefully. Yes, my good sir with the white t-shirt, join at the back. Ayabona ulinda manje sengidlule futhi. Cela uhambe uyojoin at the back. Then followed by you, my good sir. I think it's a blue shirt. Followed by you on white shirt, and additional white shirt again. Both of you on 3 white shirt. You raise your hand too. Join the queue. On a blue shirt there, go and join the queue. On the specs there, yes, go and join the queue. And you, madam, sorry, and you join the queue. And my good sir on the gold t-shirt, join the queue. We are done with the process. Please don't try to influence others, because I'll take you out of my meeting. Don't go to others and tell them what to say, because you can't outsource your rights to somebody else. Please, we're done. Only those, I must have somebody to monitor the queue there, because any person that I did not note, I will refuse that person to speak. You'll speak for 3 minutes, and please, Honorable Dos Santos, help me with your time. He is the timekeeper. When you are left with one minute, I will talk to you that you are left with 1 minute. It will be not just disruption on your part, on your thought process. Please, And the speaker can please face the camera. Face the camera when you speak. On that note, you would introduce yourself, your name, where you are coming from, and the organization you represent, and go forward. Thank you, sir. Sorry? I noted him. I didn't see him, but he can start. Because we are every human being is able, but we are differently able. I don't like to use the word disability. We are differently able. All of us were able. You can start, my good sir. Then the queue will follow. If there's somebody who have the similar situation, you must advise me. But so far is the only one. Please, Baba, ubheke camera. Ungabheki mina, camera. Bakuthathe ube on record. Nento ishilo. Thank you. These are the only speakers. We're not going to allow additional speakers. Please. As I said, translation on English is on channel 1, on Sisuthu and Setswana channel 5, isiZulu and isiXhosa channel 4, Afrikaans channel 3, Chivenda, Xitsonga channel 2, sign language in front of the TV screen will be done. Thank you very much. In that order. You can start, my good sir. We, as the portfolio committee, are said, we allow the members community members to contribute. We are not here to influence you this or that direction. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Stanley Shedrack Mbata. I'm the concern of citizen of South Africa. I'm rejecting the BELA Bill because of Section 13, Clause 39 allows the national minister to make regulations without them being in consultation with the public, and then enforce those regulations through fines and jail time. Thank you.
I must say that, please, the minister make regulation and the minister consult the cabinet. Remember, when the bill is done, you know, the constitution gives the minister the power to make regulation. If the minister doesn't make regulation, who will make the regulation?
Thank you.
Thank you, Oleboge. Mosipedishi, I'm not going to waste your time because the
Check time.
Lina laga ke thakga bankgaba. I'm here standing to agree with the bill because the clarities were made and it's very clear on certain aspects, and I'll quote on Section 3, which I'm agreeing in terms of the compulsory schooling. So, Chairperson, I'm agreeing, I'm not going to waste your time, as I said, that the bill is aimed at assisting South Africans and indeed is going to deal with a lot of discriminations. Thanks very much.
Can you talk to section of the bills, please?
Specifically on the...
You're saying all the section, you must say so. If you say one section one or something else, you must say so. Because remember, we want to get them to record what you have said, a reference to a section of the bill.
I made reference to Section 3. Hence I said I would not want to waste your time to quote section by section. I'm saying the BELA Bill is going to help us. Thanks very much.
Next speaker, please. Khawujonga ikamera kaloku mhlekazi. Ungajonga mna.
All right. Dingupasi Thomas Funeka, I do support this bill in its entirety. One, noting Guti, we are from a history engine, and this bill seeks to address our shortcomings, our needs. Noting, for an example, clause 13 to clause 17, ekhuluma ngama SGPs. Ama-SGPs zethu isikhathi esininzi abasebenzi the way we envisaged ukuthi basebenze ngakhona. Hence,
The local municipality, I'm a ward councillor for Ward 29. The BELA Bill on centralisation of powers. SGBs and public schools and schools for learners with special needs, LNSEN, should be free to determine how their members are elected without the minister's intrusion on provinces. Also, a 14-day deadline is unreasonable short. To appeal the dissolving of the SGBs by the HODs. Centralisation of power is an indirect democratic criminal offence on schools, as each school and their children are unique and the immediate body has first-hand experience in that specific school on how their members should be elected. This is according to the needs of the school and their children. Centralisation of power is a misuse of power over schools. Therefore, this bill, with these amendments, should not go through. I am not in support of this bill. I submit. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to address the committee. My name is Andres Snyman, and I'm employed as a Deputy Provincial Manager at FETSAS. FETSAS is a governing body association of South Africa. I would like to address the following aspects of the Basic Education Laws Amendment Bill, specifically Clause 14 and 32. We take note of the Portfolios Committee proposed amendments to the bill, dated 26 September 2023. Clause 14, the SGB's powers concerning procurement. This amendment proposes that the department should centrally procure learning and teaching support material or equipment for schools. Given certain provincial departments' incapability to deliver books to schools, there is a concern that the provincial departments will not have the capacity to deliver quality material on time. Section 21 already allows governing bodies to obtain allocated functions, which includes Section 21(1)(c) to purchase textbooks, etc. Should an SGB not fulfill this function with the necessary diligence, their functions can be withdrawn by the department. So therefore, this amendment is unnecessary. Then should this clause allow for a public school to opt out of this manner of obtaining LTSM, the clause would be acceptable. Then clause 32, providing quarterly reports on all income and expenses. The submission of quarterly reports, apart from the annual audited financial statements that a governing body would have to submit, will place a financial and administrative burden on the governing body and the school's resources.
My good sir, you are left with 1 minute. It's just a caution.
I reject the amendments for several reasons. Section 43(5) already makes provision for an SGB to submit annual financial reports, and the administrative burden thus will place on our provincial departments of education is unreasonable and takes away valuable time which could rather be spent focusing on underperforming and dysfunctional schools. So therefore I reject clause 34. Thank you very much.
Next speaker, please.
Thank you, Chair, PC members. My name is Jonathan West. I'm here on behalf of Section 27. I just want to intro by saying Section 27 welcomes the BELA Bill and its potential to bring long-awaited transformation to the basic education sector. Our written submissions have been accepted by the Legislature for more detailed analysis, but today I just want to focus on two clauses that we found problematic in the latest iteration. So that's the iteration and the changes made by the National Assembly Portfolio Committee. Our first concern lies in Clause 8. In the previous iteration, Clause 8AB stated that no person may bring liquor onto school premises, and then it was followed up by a caveat. We opposed the caveat. The caveat was removed. However, it seems that the entire prohibition has been removed. So it now no longer says that alcohol may not be allowed on school premises and just illegal substances. We recommend that this is clarified. We don't believe that it is intentional, but that a complete ban is imposed in BELA. Our second concern is in relation to Clause 5C and Clause 4D. These are the admissions and language policies. 5C and D in the previous iteration required heads of department to provide written reasons for their recommendations. This aspect of the clause is no longer in the new iteration of BELA. Once again, we think this requirement is essential for transparency. Written reasons is aligned with PUDGA, which is a legislation which is important for government decisions. Our recommendation is that written reasons be re-included in the BELA as it was in its second iteration in 2022. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Councillor van Lochrenberg. I'm not only a DA member, but I'm also the ward councillor for Ward 17. We have extensively went into this bill. Written submissions has also been made. I trust that you have also received. I'm also not going to touch on every single thing. A lot of it's been covered already, but let me just get down to it. When I say that we do not, and I want to clearly state that the members of Ward 17 in Mogale City do not support this bill.
You said what? Mogale City?
Ward 17 in Mogale City, where I am the ward councillor.
It doesn't work that way. You represent your individual views here. There's nobody who will say that I represent Gauteng Legislature. They support or they don't support that views. No, you have to express your individual view.
Thank you so much, Chairperson, for that. Let me first start, and she wants us to say Clause 2, which it comes to Article 3, where it speaks to grade R. 12 billion rand is needed for that, Chairperson. Where will we find that? That's my first one. The admission policies. Have we really started looking at that? And my favorite is when it comes to, sorry, I just want to quickly, sorry, apologies, we need to say the actual place. Wysiging van artikel 6, which has to do with the taal. The irony is that we only have this document in 2 languages.
Section 2, you said.
Clausule 5, wysiging van artikel 6. It's as we have it here. Clausule 5, wysiging van artikel 6, as we have it here. So we do not support this bill.
Please.
Thank you very much, Chair of the session. Ke le dumedise botlhe bagolo. Ka lebitso ke moeketsi Maxeke. Ke ne ke simolla pele ke re ke dumelane le gore ke supporta this bill ka mabaka a latelang. One, the fact that the bill is consistent with the provisions of the Constitution. I agree that Clause 2, I mean, the fact that you want to allow kids an opportunity to have a structured way ya go ithuta at the age of 5. I think it's something that needs to be welcomed as opposed to the compulsory age of 7. The second one, I think Clause 14 is equally supported. It is important that we agree that financial records of schools should go through a rigorous process of ensuring that dilo di tsamaya sentle ko sekolong. So if the governing body is the alpha and omega, I think it leaves space. So I agree with the amendments that the HOD should be able to have a way of investigating those financial records just to ensure that everything else is happening. It is one way of tightening up on mismanagement of funds. I also support and agree with clause 4 and 5, that of ensuring that when it comes to issues relating to language policy, it is just unfortunate that 30 years after the democratic dispensation, we still have a situation where we must get respect.
You are left with 1 minute, my good sir.
Oh, my minutes flew, eh?
So it's important to talk to sections
yes,
of the Act.
4 and 5, as I said, the language policy. For me, I think it's important that we are able to expand on that one. As I gallop through, I think I also agree with the clauses, I think it's 35 or so, that talks to the code of conduct. That the code of conduct should not be discriminatory. Children should not be judged on the basis of the texture and the type of hair they were blessed with. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. You may proceed, please.
Goeiemôre, good morning everyone.
Oh, môre, hoe gaan dit?
Baie goed, dankie en self.
Big fame. Dankie.
Ek wil net graag sê die mense wat hierdie bil opgetrek het, moet seker iewers inspirasie van die donkerte af gekry het, want ek stem glad nie saam daarmee nie. Ek verwys spesifiek na die, and I would just like to say this in English, please acquaint yourself with the full bill and not just the summary. It is very interesting that only a certain portion of the bill is presented to the people here in this room, while there is actually a full bill online that you can download. Please acquaint yourself before you just say you agree, but that's my opinion. I would like to speak on the section regarding languages. There is one recommendation that I would like to make and I do support the mother tongue education for our children 100%. And to be able to accommodate that, one suggestion, build schools. Please build schools. That is the only recommendation. Instead of wanting to change schools to accommodate children who speak different languages, bou skole. Agang dikolo, bou skole. Thank you.
My good sir, please proceed. Look at the camera and the people.
Good morning, thank you. My name is Willem van der Merwe. I am a concerned citizen. We've got 3 minutes to mention specific sections of the bill and what we would object to or agree with it. I'm not sure how I would be able to do that in 3 minutes, but I will refer to specific sections then.
Sorry, while you are there, there's a concern that has been raised for 3 minutes. I said in the earlier, you can write and submit the content, which means we must allow you, even what you have written in English or Afrikaans or any other language, to go there for consolidation. You are not stopped in addition from writing the content. In addition, I'm being persuaded by the panel here that we must give the second round. Do you agree with that? Okay, good. You may proceed.
Thank you, Chair. All right, then, just to refer to specific sections, section 2 with regards to the penalties for keeping children out of school and homeschooling, in the section on homeschooling. Very often with legal terms and laws that are drawn up, it's very generalized. We heard the explanation before, but somebody else can come and interpret it completely differently. So I want to request that there is more specific indication given in the clauses about, and is specifically with homeschooling, and that the law cannot be interpreted in different ways after the bill has been passed. And then also with regard to sections 4 and 5, similarly, in terms of the powers of the school governing bodies, that it is explained that the powers are not being taken away, but as we've heard, if you go and read in the original bill, there can be different interpretations. If that can be clarified and confirmed and assured, that the public is assured that the intention of the government...
My good sir, you are left with 1 minute.
Thank you. Is not to limit those powers in an adverse way in respect of parental authority and community authority. Thank you.
Next speaker, please. My good man, please look at the camera or the people.
Sanbonan.
I said my good man.
Unosipho Lona, Regional Executive National Association of School Governing Bodies. Number 1, I reject the BELA Bill. People, these are our kids. No learner, umtanam, no education, no officials. So they must not act so big. Without them, without our children, aba existi. So you need to consult us, engage with us, communicate with us before the bill. Now, you're saying alcohol you've removed. It's not removed, Baba. I have a clip here, Izolo, which Helena went to class drunk.
Madam, please, we are not using the clip as a reference to the bill. We use the content of the bill.
I'm using the
and
content.
The section, yeah. And this is part of the consultative process of community.
Chairperson, thank you. Even the clause that you are referring to, Chairperson, you can open a clip here, clause number 34, and compare it to this on our so-called pamphlet. This one has contents, and it also have sections 34.1, 34.2. There it's only 34. So what are you giving to the public? You're saying SGP members not to be paid. We are not saying pay them, appreciate them. They are people. They wake up in the morning, they go and see our learners that are passing, which you give them 30% and 40% passing rate. What is that? People, you can go to Legislature and go to Randfontein. The other day you go to Tembisa, you go to Soshanguve and lie to the people.
Madam, you are left with 1 minute.
Thank you,
can
Chair.
send other content written.
Thank you, Chairperson. If you're saying you're bringing the language, what language are you bringing? English and Afrikaans? Because you go to ballot paper, it's English and Afrikaans. You go to medication, it's English and Afrikaans. You go to entrances, it's English and Afrikaans. CPC Zulu. Guy Chivenda. Sikai Sesotho. So please, don't play with our minds. Work with us. Usisi lapha ute build schools.
Remember from the first speaker, you were not clapping hands. No. No, wait. So, if that is the protocols, because, anyway, don't take the clapping hands as undue influence. Please proceed.
Good morning. My name is Sipogazi Zokwana. I am ANC member, Ward 3, in 10 acres. I fully support the BELA Bill. And I stand here to appreciate the explanation that is given here to us, especially when we are looking at electing our SGBs from the 1st of March
Talk to
to the
section of the
31st
bill.
of March. So the bill clearly explains the role of SGBs. So we will go there having our SGBs and you know who is going to follow the bill for us as the community of 9010B. Thank you so much.
No, as yourself, not as community. Remember, there was Honorable Councillor here, who was here as who says the councillor was representing Mukhale City. I said, no, you contribute as an individual. Thank you, Madam. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Councillor Kiamokhetso Marumule from Randwest, Ward 27 in Semoye. Clause 1, the economic freedom fighters is in support of the amendment to the South African School Act, SASA, which sought to make education compulsory from grade R to grade 12 and criminalize parents or guardians who block children from attending school without a justice cause. However, the EFF proposed that the age of entry into school be lowered to the age of 3, especially given that the nursery schools are expected to soon be administered by the DBE. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor.
Sanmonani Gamang Sabelo. I'm from the ANC, but I'll speak on my individual capacity. Okokuqala, I want to say clause number 2, which seeks to promote that children as early as 5 years must be at schools is important. I support it. I also support Section 18, which talks about the changes on the procurement of the LTSM. I support Section 35, which regulates homeschooling. I support the section that allows the minister to regulate learner pregnancy. I also fully support the clause number 4 and 5, which is about language and admission policy. And I say that it is long overdue that we are taking this decision now. Most of the former Model C schools and SGBs, the white people in particular, they have been using the language policy to exclude our people from accessing schools. I find it bizarre that they stand here and say build more schools when classes in those schools are very empty because of the misuse of the language policy. I think that this law shouldn't even be debated from 1994. It's unfortunate that we are debating this particular law right now. Where I think that we should...
Sir, you are left with 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute is enough to say what I want to say. SGBs should not be paid a cent. If there is a payment of anything to SGBs, it should be it should be limited so that this policy does not get abused by principals and SGBs who are going to connive and abuse the resources of the state and come back here and say, build more schools when they squander our money in the schools. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Good day, everybody. My name is Vikas de Beer, and I'm here in my personal capacity. I've got 40 years experience in educating children, of which 26 years being in a private preschool and then aftercare. I'm concerned about the socio-economic impact of this bill with regards to section number 2, the grade R, where grade R will be compulsory. I unfortunately do not have the bill, so I don't know if in the bill there is space for the private sector educating grade R presently. There's a gazillion great private schools in South Africa educating grade R. Is there space for them? Is there room for them in this? Or in section 2 will grade R be compulsory be with the public schools only? And then I'm also concerned about section 4 and 5 with regards to the language policy concerning minority groups. I've been staying in Randfontein for close to 60 years, and I've seen Randfontein change. And from my experience, I have seen 3 schools in Randfontein actually for change due to the socio-economic structure change, which is not a problem. We have to allow for everybody. But what about the minority groups? For as an instance, do you know about a place called Rika's Rus Vleikop, from where small children must travel close to 30 kilometers to the closest school? Children as small, at the age of 6, getting up at 4 o'clock, get onto a bus, find transport to come to Randfontein due to language policies that changed. Please cater for minority groups. And I need to also emphasize, schools are needed. Yes, sir.
You have 1 minute left.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the 2 I had already. Any case, please consider the minority groups. Afrikaans, specifically my home language, is becoming a minority language in South Africa. I do not have a problem with schools adapting to the geographical influx of people in a specific area. It's natural, it must happen. But what about the minority groups? Just clause 35 allows for private schools, but a private school entry for a small kid is anything from between 4,000 and 5,000 rand per month, which most people cannot afford. If I can build a private school on my property, I will. But it's unaffordable for the people who want to put their children in a private school, allowing for their home education in, or their basic education in their home language. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before honorable member, the member speak, community member speak, I must say that every right, all our rights are enshrined within the Constitution. And I must say that one, our language, our heritage resource of historical significance, and they must be preserved. That's why they are covered by the Constitution. I thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Chairperson. Let me greet you all, community members. Let me greet you all, community members.
Please bring the mic next to your mouth a little bit.
My name is Jerry Lingisa. I'm a concerned parent. I, in fact, holistically agree with clause 2, subsection 3 in entirety with its subsections. And then would like to maybe differ with clause 21, subsection 27. Look, in fact, my humble appeal is the phrasing. I was hoping that maybe in that note, the prerogative will be left with the schools. Because to me, it sounds as if we are creating dwarf SGBs. Because listen, SGBs by nature, they are expected to raise funds. So hence I'm saying, subsection 21, clause 21, subsection 27, it should in fact be cascaded to the school and be left with the school to use its own prerogative in terms of whether are they remunerating the SGBs or not. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. The next speaker, please. Madam on the fantastic black hat and red dress. Yeah.
Good day, Chairperson. My name is Nozbele Mkhwetyana. I'm a PR councillor in Ward 14, Rand West. We as the EFF, we are in support of this BELA Bill. Clause 8 seeks to amend section 8.
As yourself, what's your name again?
My name is Mkhwetyana Nozbele, a PR councillor in Ward 14.
Yourself, you can't represent the party. Oh.
I can, Chairperson.
No, but you are contributing as yourself now, isn't it?
No.
But if there's something that's written for, it will be accepted if you do it as an individual, please.
All right. Clause 8 says, seeks to amend Section 8 with regards to random search and seizure and drug testing at schools. The clause also makes it clear that a school has the right to search an individual learner and not only a group of learner, and consequential amendments in this regard are proposed to the section. This clause seeks to extend the provisions in Section 8A of the SASA regarding the provision of liquor by a learner and to make a consequential amendments to the section in this regard and in regard to the new definition of drug. Furthermore, the EFF did not support the ideas of SGBs being given unlimited power to determine the discriminatory policies without checks and balances. Thank you.
Thank you. The speaker on blue.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, citizens. My name is Eva Du Plessis. I'm on SGB. I'm a parent and I'm a member of the Democratic Alliance. I would like to object the BELA Bill on the following points. On the point of making grade R mandatory, it's felt that there is serious practical concerns whether schools will be able to cope with the influx of student demand. Scarcity of resources and financial implications should first be addressed. 2, we oppose the clause of the admissions policy as it will put the final decision of the school's admission policy into the hands of the head of department, which appeals allowed to the MEC. It is felt that admissions should reside with the local communities who has a much more bigger grasp of their own needs. The power to determine the admissions policy should reside with the school governing body. The language policy in clause 5 could be abused to force single language schools to change their language policies, and a great burden will be put on the HOD to be able to approve all these language policies. Also, the deadline of 14 days for an appeal decision by the MEC is too short for any meaningful engagement. This decision should remain with the school governing body. In clause 19, the transferal of powers to the minister amounts to unjustified intrusion on the affairs of provinces and unnecessarily centralizes power within the government and should remain with the MEC. Clause 21, there is only 14 days to appeal the dissolvement of school governing bodies, and this timeline is deemed unrealistic. Clause 37, homeschooling. There is a definite need for greater consultation with the homeschooling sector to determine their views and concern. Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. The next speaker, please, on the nice tie and white shirt. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Louis Nell. I'm a concerned parent. I'm also a member of SGP, and I'm a practicing attorney here in Randfontein. I'm opposing the BELA Bill, and I just want to raise a couple of issues that I've found. With regards to Clause 2, the mandatory age and grade R to be absorbed, the logic behind this is questionable. Pre-primary educators to be now absorbed into the primary education sphere, this need to be rethinked. The purpose of grade R is the final preparation and step to ascertain the school readiness of a learner to enter grade 1, the primary education. It is impractical with schools already overburdened with regards to capacity, not even to speak about ablution, classrooms, playgrounds, and educators. Staying with clause 2, the criminalization of parents with regards to grade R, it is unjustly criminalizing parents if learners are not in school. We need to assist parents. We need to assist the community. The voiceless, with all respect said, the indigent, the impoverished, who is not informed of this, who has not the knowledge and has not the power and or the electronic and or social media platforms that we all now easily use to accommodate and to have attended these meetings. So we need to really rethink and assist the voiceless. With regards to clause 4D, admissions, rejections, and refusals of admission, placing the final say of schools' admission policy, and specifically the process pertaining to rejections and refusals of admissions or the application process into the hands of the HOD and the MEC, that is a bit contradictory, especially if you read clauses 4D and 4F with each other. The admissions policy of a public school is determined by the governing body, provided that the HOD has the final authority, subject to subsection 9.
Our legal mind from here, you are left with 1 minute.
To admit a learner into a public school. And then the clause F says, any learner or parent of a learner who has been refused admission to a public school may appeal against the decision to the member of the executive committee. So why is there a member of the executive committee necessary if the HOD has the final say on admission? The SGB, with regards to section 5 or clause 5, the SGB determines the language policies. That is really important. The HOD may approve the language policy, and clauses 13, notwithstanding subsection 2, the HOD may direct the public school to adopt more than one language of instruction.
Just summarize your point because your time is done.
10 seconds. It may grossly interfere with the function and the purpose of the SGBs, which is a legal entity in itself. Amendment may be utilized one-sided or autocratically to strong arm and force single language schools to amend their language policy, whichever language that might be. Whilst the SGB has been elected by the parents of that school to represent and be representable of the parents of the school community. Thank you, Chair.
I will request, if you have some notes that you want to submit, you can get them submitted.
I have concluded, Chair.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Dumelang bagolo, dumelang baagi. Ka lebitso ke Tshepo Mochikwane, ke a concerned parent who is standing here to reject the BELA Bill on the basis that it doesn't address the issues that are there. As it is, we have, our schools are overcrowded, both in the townships or in town, and it opens up a place for corruption, which is why we have illegal schools all over town. Can I please do what say? The bill does not address all the issues, so hence I'm rejecting it. Because it doesn't address, it's not there on the bill to address issues. Schools in Main Reef, there's about 2-3 schools next to bottle stores. The bill does not address that. There's a clause here that says...
which one?
Which one? 34 or 33, but it's in spade because you didn't bring enough documents to accommodate us all. So this exercise was not given a proper attention it deserves. This whole process, it's a farce. It's not properly done. There's not enough documents that addresses the bill. Even what is in here, it's a summary. So this whole thing, it leaves a lot of, other clauses are ambiguous. You can interpret them just anyhow you want. So that's why I'm rejecting this bill, because there's nothing here that addresses the issues that are there. We have issues, there are schools there, there are bottle stores next to schools. And you are talking about the clause that talks about but it doesn't talk about monitoring that. Who is going to make sure that things like that don't happen? It talks about the minister regulating, and it ends there. What follows regulation? Monitoring. Where is monitoring? Where is evaluation? Who is going to make sure that those things that are there in the bill are attended to?
Left with 1 minute, it's enough. Speak about it, yeah?
Yeah, well, I'm done.
Okay, break. You're going to talk. Okay, I'll take it.
Dumelang baheso.
No,
Good, is it afternoon?
I must say that, you know, it's a responsibility for the person to come and make contribution to print their own bill where they want to contribute about. We said this in the beginning. So you can't say that if you have your own, when we make an advert, you must access the document to the bill yourself and come to talk to section of that bill. So you can't blame us because it's not even our responsibility to do that. You have to have the copy of the bill as publicized. It is there on the internet. You may print or you may talk to from online. Thank you very much. You may proceed.
My name is Chris Tepe. I'm a leader and I'm a pastor. I reject the bill with its own entirety. All right, all right. Firstly, I have 3 questions, Mr. Chair. I wanted to look at you.
Look at the people.
The sexuality education you said when you started and the religious, they are taken out. Are they part of the bill? That's the question. And if they are part of the bill, when are we going to get a chance to debate them or to make presentations on them? And number 2, the submission time frame. You said we are allowed to make submissions. Are we allowed to submit even after this session? That's the question. And one of the things that I want to highlight is somebody elaborated too much on that one about the punishment given to the parents. It looks like the leaders that we elect, they are taking the law into their own hands. You want to be our parents. You make laws that suits you. We elect you to represent. All right, I'm shooting the messenger.
We
sorry.
don't make law. You make laws. You may contribute.
All right. Section, I think it's section 3, that talks about the great R and the great R to 12. That's the section that I'm talking about. I reject it. And I wanted to state categorically that we cannot allow parents to be ruled by teachers, by people that they have elected. We cannot allow that. As it stands now, registration on digital registration on schools it cannot be that the people cannot afford.
1 minute left, please.
Okay. But to baba dirang ka tsone ga ba kgone go di dira. Now you are including the great R's. People who ba sa kgone go etsa sepe le ba kenya mo. Please, I reject. Let it be known that this is nonsensical. We don't allow it. And the sexuality education bill, as one of my sisters said, it comes from the pit of hell. We reject it.
And the time has rejected you now. Yes, madam, thank you.
And I am a homeschooling mother. I reject the BELA Bill in its entirety, but specifically clause 37. That requires that as a parent, I should register, apply with the department to ask the department if I can homeschool my child. And then if the MEC or the HOD sees it fit, they will approve my application to teach my kid at home in a place that is safe for the child. safer than the schools we have in our communities. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, says that every person has the right to receive education in a language that all of the official languages that they choose. I took my child out of school because there is no school that teaches my child Sesotho, that teaches in my community, teaches her Sesotho, and teaches her to comprehend the concepts of education in a language we speak at home. My child is supposed to learn every other thing in English, and here we are asking the Afrikaners to not teach their kids, to take our kids to their Afrikaner schools and tell them not to, yet our kids are supposed to have a heritage within their own languages. What has happened to us as a people? Have we become so modernized that we don't even have a heritage anymore to uphold? We are running after other people so that we can see ourselves to be. I understand we are readdressing the inequalities of the past and the atrocities of the past, but at the expense of the future of my kids, I pulled my kid out of school. And so my child has that right to be taught at home. The homeschooling law in this country gives me as a parent the power, not you, MEC, not you, HOD, to educate my child at school. It is my right, it is not a privilege. And I reject this bill because the state is trying, Chairperson, I'm sorry, the state is trying to infringe, to trample upon my right by coming up with all these summaries and definitions and things I don't understand because I'm not English, because I'm not that educated, and you are confusing me, and I refuse it. Ke batla ho ruta ngwana ka haka ka Sesotho. Ke motswadi, ke tswetse ngwana, ha nkeke ka tswalla ngwana ke motswalla government. E reng ngwana ka ha ya sekolong, a skebe a khalimelo. Ngwana ka ha ile sekolong, a skebe a jwetswa hore o phoso. Ha ke batle ke batla nna ke rute ngwana ka ke mo discipline lapeng haka. So as a result, I reject to ask permission from the HOD.
Next speaker, please. If I didn't point you, I will reject you to speak too.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. My name is Tumi Mulusi. I'm the councillor in the Western District Municipality and the leader of the EFF. Chairperson, we support especially clause 1, that school must be compulsory for children from grade R up to grade 12. Actually, there are parents who are so mischievous that they will deliberately deny their children education. So this bill actually is putting that to criminalize those parents who are mischievous and who do not take responsibility for their children. We have kids in the street. If you ask them, they will tell you, my mother is not the one taking me to school. So those parents must be taken to task. And the other issue is that the languages, we don't have 2 languages in South Africa. We have 11 official languages. And we have schools managing by SGBs who want to have power by all means, who wants to have their own languages to be the alpha and omega of the languages in South Africa. We say we are in the rainbow nation, but you go to these schools, they practice discrimination and racism at a higher level. For example, this Rebex Rand that is here in Randfontein. Admissions, they decide who must be admitted and who must not be admitted. We must reject that nonsense that is happening there. And this bill must be protected. And as the EFF, we support this bill. And the other issue that we want to address as well is the issue of the language. The languages must be 11. If I want to study my home language in a particular school, I must be allowed and must have a right to do that. No SGB must come and tell me that I cannot learn mathematics in my own language. That's why this minority, they have advantage over all of us here, because they learn mathematics in their own language in Afrikaans and English.
To 1 minute.
Yes. So we are not going to allow that. And the issue of code of conduct and religions, we have seen that the cultural, especially if you are a black person, you do some cultural activities in the school, you practice your culture. These minority schools, they are going to call the disciplinary committee and you are going to be expelled. We have seen that with dreadlocks. We have seen that with other cultural activities that were practiced by black people, that these schools, they do a mess. So we must really, as black people, if you are not in support of this bill, we are really a sellout. And we must make sure that we support this bill.
Your
And as the
time
EFF, we
is
support this
over.
bill. Thank you very much.
Your time is over.
Thank you very much. My name is Bethel Munyai. I want to indicate...
Sorry, what?
Thank you. Munyai Bethel. Yeah, thank you very much. Let me just clarify that there was no any duress or undue influence in submission and also in adopting this particular bill as you are the chair. But however, let me indicate that we are in support of this particular bill because it addressed the injustice of the past. And also this bill is indicating that it will make it compulsory for the younger ones to go to school and parents to take responsibility. And when we check in South Africa, majority of those that are not going to schools are blacks. And blacks, they are in majority. And we want to be educated and be better off and change South Africa. We need our kids to be compulsory, be at schools, be represented everywhere. So these bills talks to the injustice.
Talk to section of the
Which
bill,
one?
please. Thank you.
The section 2 of the admission and attendance. And also on the issues of admission and attendance. So we want to indicate that it need also in the section to address the issue of composition, including in the issues of SGBs. SGBs, it must represent the demographics. If in South Africa we have got 11 languages with the addition of sign language by section 6, subsection 1 of the Constitution, we need to have all people be represented. It must be not be fair whereby we have all representative of white in the SGB because we want to transform the schools and also transform the way the SGB are. And
Mr.
also in
Munyai,
addition...
you are left with 1 minute, please.
And also in addition that we are proposing that the SGB must serve only 2 terms. Because the reason why here the SGB, they are just adamant, they don't want to go. And also issue of SGB must not only be limited for the say you have got a child. If you live within the vicinity of that particular area and you are an adult, a responsible man and a woman, you can be in the SGB. If you don't have a child, doesn't mean that you must be discriminated, that you cannot be in the SGB. So you must be included. So we see people being in the SGB being exposed to finances of the schools, and now they just want to enter into the budget of the school and enter through corruption. So they must serve and go. Thank you very much.
Next speaker, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. My name is Diteko Moreotsenyi. I am the parent to a child who is at school, and I'm here also as a member of the African National Congress. One would want to support the bill from clause 1 to clause 54 and put an emphasis on the last part, which is on the summary of the presentation, which talks to the implications to the state as it relates to finances. And we want to request that this budget to implement this bill, once it is adopted, signed, and it is law, it must be funded fully at that point. When the chair presented here, talks to he made reference to problematic clauses. And I think it was an incorrect way of raising it, because having read this bill, I have not seen a problematic clause. Instead, I think he could have used a different word rather than to suggest that we have problematic clauses in this bill. these are perceived to be problematic rather than being problematic. Thank you.
Next, please.
We are done.
We are done. I must say that I would have committed to give you second round, but one of the honorable member have emergency has left. So as a consequence, I don't want us not to, as a structure in the portfolio committee, not to form a quorum. However, we have given you sufficient time, all of you, that have expressed an interest to speak. And we want to thank you very much for your contribution. Can I please allow you to give yourself a round of applause for the hard work you have done in this regard first? In that regard, we are not expected as a portfolio committee on education to answer any clarity that has been sought. That's not our task. Our task, as I said in my opening remarks, is to consolidate all your contribution, all your document through the supporting team, to be able to help us to record all those decision-making process to the Parliament in this regards to select committee of the NCOP on education. It is an opportunity, therefore, now to give the honorable member of the portfolio committee, Honorable Dos Santos, to please give us a vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much to all the stakeholders that's taken time out of your busy day to come and make representation. It is a bill that affects our learners, affects our children, and we have a responsibility to ensure that our children and learners have the best education possible. But it is also very important that we have public participation, because we get to hear what you as a parent, as someone that's interested in the future of our education of our learners, that what your input is will go towards our assessment of this bill and make recommendations to the bill. So I just want to say thank you very much for your input. I've made a lot of notes, and I'm sure that we have taken some notes as well that we will consider amongst the other sessions that we have lined up for this week. So thank you, Chair, thank you to the honourable members, and most importantly, thank you to all of the stakeholders that attended today. Thank you.
Esteemed honourable members, our beautiful communities in different colors, and all of us that were here. Again, our supporting team who consolidate this contribution from the table. I want you to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, because you took participatory democracy very seriously. It is through participatory democracy that our community have a say about the lawmaking process in the Republic of South Africa. And to deal with the issues of your contribution, we are satisfied that you express your view, and all your view will be consolidated and be taken forward. And I think all the views has been represented by yourself as an individual member of community that came before us to submit your own contribution. With regard to, sorry? I'm not getting you, madam. Can you give her the mic? And you must note that we're at the process of closure. Thank you.
I understand that you are closing, but you're saying you listen to everybody's say. I haven't said my said, and I don't think anybody else, everybody here said what they wanted to say yet. So why are you closing this early? We need to speak. If you say it's so important, let us speak today.
Let me clarify that part. I said everyone that want to speak will express so by raising a hand. And if you didn't raise your hand, I can't force you to speak. Then you don't come late to a meeting and you want to speak forcefully. It's not going to happen. We have a process, we have a procedure. No, please, can you sit down? Sit down, please, sit down. I'll chase you out from the meeting. Yeah. So to deal with the process of participatory democracy, those that have expressed their need to speak has been granted so. And if you think your rights has been trampled upon, you know the process, what you need to do. I want to thank all of you that were here on time, that registered their interest to speak, and your views has been recorded because you have spoken. I thank you very much. This session is adjourned, and we're also going to go to other session as per advertisement. And before I close, I'll allow Charlene or any one of the member to announce the other area where we are going to visit for public hearing. If you didn't have your view here expressed, you must go to the advertised venue. Charlene, please come here and announce the next venue and the date where we're going to have our next meeting. Please do that.
Thank you. The next,
Speak close to the mic, please.
the next public hearing will be held at the Sam Shlalele Hall in Tembisa. We'll be starting at 10 o'clock on Wednesday, the 28th of February. On Friday, we'll start at 11:30 at the Falala Hall in Soshanguve. And submissions are open, so we will accept written submissions until the 5th of March via email.
Thank you. Meeting is closed.